Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It is Tuesday night, March the 7th. These are the charts of the day. Let's switch over to the indices and take a quick look. Well, today was a kind of real choppy, sloppy day. Down, up, back down, coil or wedge, and then breakdown, but snap back at the close. But the picture on the, and that's the NDX, the S&P was similar, of course, with a tighter coil. The larger cap look, or the, should I say, the larger look in terms of the hourly charts, show this, a huge run up. Let's give you the S&P as well. And you can see the real strong run up, a wedge or breakout with a breakaway gap and then a pullback. This pullback's had us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, but it did bounce off today's low, but look how important this low is down here. 53.40. That is an area that is not only the lateral price support, the gap fill nearly, but just underneath the red line, which is the 50-period moving average on the hourly chart. Your obvious resistance is now 53.74.5 up here. That comes right across there. There's 4 tops in that area, so we break through that, we're off to the races. But if it fails and comes down and takes out 53.40 for starters, our projection is 53.20 and 53.02. On the S&P, if we fail to get back up through the 2380 82 zone, then take out 2400, which is what it's going to be necessary. Then we have a possibility of rolling over and taking out support, which is at 2360 and 2350. That could lead to a much deeper retrace. Well, we'll see how it goes shortly, but let's take a look at the individual charts we've prepared for today. Now, as you know, AAOI is one of my top 25 and has been for months now. And look at this move from 8 to 56. 7 times your money since May. In particular, the last 60 days has taken it from 2188 to 5614. That's nearly tripled. And as far as I'm concerned, overbought. That doesn't mean this momentum can't carry it to 60-65, but you got to be very careful up here. Yes, there's 3.9 days to cover. The stock was up 308 or 6% today on $1.9 million. Good volume, but it's coming to a crescendo, and it may do something like this. If you see this move up here, that took it from 9 to 24, and then went into a 1 month long falling wedge. Could very well happen here where it pulls back. Now, which is not to say that it can't consolidate again and make another move into the 70s and 80s, but for now you got to be careful up here. Did want to highlight the action because it's fantastic. AUPH had a huge day on 49.3 million. And most importantly, I want to point out that since the IPO, the stock, or since they were listed, the stock basically had double top and blew through it today on monster volume. 49 million shares traded as it breaks out. Now, 3 days ago, it exploded and pulled back. And I noted that the inside day following it was very bullish. Yesterday it popped, today it exploded. Unfortunately, I didn't give you a swing trade like I wanted to, and at this point it may be extended by momentum. Could carry this to 8, 9, or even 10 up in that zone before it does give you a deeper pullback. Watch this one tomorrow, but be very, very careful. And there are some, and an earnings report is due in about 10 days. TGTX, explosive move, probably missed my entry that I wanted to get on this pullback, and even here where it consolidated, and it still may be an opportunity, as I think this is a really strong little rising channel underway that should or could lead my thinking to 13 and 15 going forward. Here's your daily chart one more time. Today was a breakout. We can get through the double top at around 1160, 13, and then 15 of my targets going forward. 21.86 days to cover. Huge. But anytime you get a breakaway gap like that, you got to be careful it doesn't give you a deeper pullback. The support, well, that's going to be down about the 910 area, 910. And you can see that that was the low achieved yesterday. Today was actually an inside day because it did not make a higher high. Double topped at 1160. Let's watch this going forward with the big short position. Momo, 30 up 339 today. And much more importantly, looking at the long-term chart, inverse head and shoulders, a 1, 2, 3, 4. The pullback tested the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders there on a 3-wave corrected pullback, and then surge, broke through, and then kind of double topped in there. Look at this move today as it broke out of what looks like a wedge, with a big breakaway move and huge volume for this stock of 22.3 million. I don't think it's ever traded that ever, but it's breakaway move, and it could get to mid-channel somewhere around 34.5 pretty quickly. Keep an eye on this one. Meat, 82 cents higher, 5.89 up 82 cents or 16%, 16.3 million shares. That's almost 9 times normal volume. Huge. And a breakaway type of move that we saw, for example, not quite the same volume here, but it broke out in that range when it broke through this double top. Now this one had a multi-month, 6 or 7 month kind of coiling, narrowing type pattern. Notice how support held on 3 occasions right here. And the trend line had to be adjusted to the top channel. Now it looks to me like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave could take us all the way up to at least 8 or 9 mid-channel, upper channel 14, 15. There's almost 6 days to cover on this one. I would look for at least a test, probably near term, of around 6.97. You get through that, we're looking at 8. AERI, really nice action, especially nice orderly run up. Today it went another $1.25 or 2.5%, not a lot, but with 13.2 days to cover and making new all-time highs, I think this one continues to chuck up the channel. And it may even start to accelerate. If it does that, looking at a $60, $70 stock, and the short position could fuel the fire on that one. FMI, boy, this is one hell of a swing trade. After I gave it to you here, it pulled back for a nice entry up over the next 2 weeks, forming a falling wedge on low volume, and then boom. We're now up 7 days in a row, having gone from 22.39 to 34.90. That's about a 60% move straight up. And right now, it's reached my first and second targets. I'm looking for a pullback, but momentum is very strong with this one. And it's 13 days to cover short. You can see why this might be resistance up here. And we may have a little bit more to go, perhaps up to 36.5. But, you know, I'm always careful when I see this kind of a move. Just 60 days ago, the stock was 17.18. Here it is at 35, 34.5. INVA, our old friend Charlie A pointed this out today. The stock broke out of a wedge, pulled back and formed a mini wedge. That would be right here. And today, gapped and ran for about 6%, traded 4.1 million, the second biggest volume on an up day in a year. And so for me, I think this one may be headed to test 12, I'm sorry, not 12, 13.5, maybe 14 zone. And if we get through that, your next target is 16.5. 28.7 days to cover. Huge. We could get a short covering frenzy on that one. MEET we mentioned. TGTX we did not. Oh yes, we did. I'm sorry. This is out of sequence tonight, so please forgive me. TGTX looking pretty strong. VCRA, now this has been a hell of a run up since it was $10 in May of last year. It's more than doubled, reaching a spike high and reversal almost a month ago at 22.48 before it backed off to retest support around the 19 range, and now it's headed higher, it appears. Now the mid-channel target's around 24 and the upper channel target's 28, 29. Today it was up 4%, and it did trade at 422,000 shares. Good line for this stock. It looks like it may head higher. Lastly is Urundai, YRD, excuse me. It broke out a couple days ago and it continues to push forward. It's now up 5 days in a row. And as you can see, this pattern looks to me like we're going to test a zone up around 33.5, 34. We get to that, we're looking back up in the low 40s, 42.3 again. That's it on the long side. There's quite a few boxes shorts to cover. Let's do it. AZO tanking, it appears. It dropped 11.20 today. At one point it was down about 13, 14. It's right on support and closed. This is the lowest close on this stock since February of last year, a 52-week low. Massive top, and if this breaks, you're going to see it trade down to the 670, 80 zone, in my opinion. Cardtronics still coiling or flagging or bear, whatever you want to call it. Looks like a bear flag after a big drop from 55 down to 43. It's now gone sideways for a couple of weeks, It doesn't look good at all, folks, and if it breaks here, you're going to see a quick test of 42 or maybe even 36, 37. Dick's Sporting Goods in the had a really bad report. The stock got whacked, losing 453 or 8.6%. 25 million shares on the downside, making new multi-month lows. It looks like that trend line's been broken, support has been broken. It looks to me like we're headed towards 43.5, 44 next. ESRX gapped down out of a rising bear wedge and lost 266 or almost 4% today on 8.6 million. It looks to me like with lousy technicals, this is headed lower, perhaps for a test at least of 65.5. That may happen tomorrow. And if we break down below that, we could see a really sharp drop because of all this air in here. This could be a $60 stock or less. G3 Apparel rolled out of its bear wedge recently. It's been down 3 days in a row and 5 of the last 6. It closed right on that line, that's support. Any further damage, we're going to see 21.5, 19.5, and all the way down to the mid-teens potentially. Hibbett Sports, probably in sympathy with Dick's today, dropped $1.80 or 6%, but broke its bear wedge and closed right on support here. Any lower than this, this could fall away into the 21-22 zone. Swing trade on the short side, iRobot, rising wedge broke today, or at least it's been breaking slowly. I need this to pick up to the downside. Right now we're at support across that line. If it breaks any further, we should see a run down towards 52, 53, my next target. PZZA, Papa John's, also been headed lower, an engulfing negative bearish day today, down to $1.12. But more importantly, it looks like that's been taken out and the stock is headed to at least test 74, 4.5. If we get through that, then we're falling all the way down into the low to mid 60s. Ralph Lauren definitively looks like a bear flag, a 1, 2, 3 wave corrective bear flag after a big gap down. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking for wave 5 to take us to the low to mid 60s. This could really get hammered. This is a swing short. Sally Beauty, ain't so pretty. It's really getting hurt. You can see this massive head and shoulders type top with support right about there. We're down definitively underneath that. My next target is 18.5 and 16 going forward. Not a pretty sight. Signet Jewelers. And down goes Frazier. This stock looks to me like it's just in a down, just a fall away mode. But look, let's also keep in mind that it was just 95 to 63, and that took about 2 months. It looks lower. Let's look at the daily. You can see how it's rolled over. It is near support. I wouldn't be aggressively shorting it here. I'd like to see it bounce towards 69. I'm not sure we're going to see that. Even 67 would be good, but the rollover could take us into the mid-50s. New short swing TPX. After I saw the breakdown and a snapback right to resistance and started to roll back, I decided this has got to be a boxer swing short. I'm looking for a test of 41, but I think it's not going to hold. 36 and 29.30 potential targets going forward. Texas Roadhouse, well, it's turning into roadkill as it got slam dunked down from the bear wedge, and today dropped to $1.23, but you can see how that wedge has been broken, and if it ticks underneath 40 3/4, it could fall away quickly towards 37.5, maybe even 35. Under Armour's not looking good either. Nasty looking pattern. Gap here, consolidate, gap here, little bear wedge, roll over. There's nothing here. Take a look at the long-term chart. Nothing to prevent a much bigger drop, perhaps even down into the 14, 15 range. Minimum would be around 16, 3/4, 17 from here. UPS. Also, a big bear wedge has formed after a gap down and slam dunk. It snapped back to resistance, it pulled back, it's got narrower near the apex. You can see if this rolls over, I think we're testing 100, 94, and down to 87, perhaps even as low as 83, a long way down from there. But I'll take 87, 94 and 87 as targets. So that's the long and short of it. It's not a pretty market, and we're certainly seeing a lot of activity on the short side. For now, this is HB signing off. You guys have a great evening. Let's make some money tomorrow.